Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? I just want to do another video today. I've been doing a lot of videos lately, and this is a real topic I want to share one day. I was thinking about waiting and sharing another time, but you know what? I feel in my heart I want to share this, okay? If you've been on my journey, you probably seen me do videos a lot back in the days, and I took a break, and I really never really came back, and now I went through coming back and then quitting YouTube for a while and then coming back. But this time I'm really like coming back like in a serious way, and it's not out of like trying to do it out of like so much effort. It's just doing it naturally. I'm just being me, and documenting my journey, just like Gary Vee says. And one of the reasons, with videos, it's like a whole personal development thing. When you feel good about yourself, I notice from doing this for over the years, you'll have the confidence to do it, When you're not feeling that good, you kind of don't want to do it, whatever level you are at. And for me, I stopped doing YouTube, you'll notice, for a while. And sometimes I'll do it and I'll unlist the video, and I might still do that, I'll be honest, okay? But there has been a change in my life. And it's been 3 weeks, and I've talked about this topic, and I know people, if they hear this, they're like, here we go again. But I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Because I'm doing this, I want to share this because I just want to share it. This is the real reason I'm doing YouTube again, everyone has struggles. Everyone has demons behind the scenes, and some is this and some is that, some is whatever. Whatever it is a struggle. Everyone has some kind of struggle. For me, I live in California. I'm not laughing. I'm just saying. You may know as I'm setting it up. I live in California, so. For me, my struggle was behind the scenes was, I'm going to be transparent in real life. It was smoking weed. And the first time I seriously quit, it was in 2006. Okay? This is prior to me going all out in internet marketing too, okay? This was me working at the convenience store at the time I quit. I still remember the day, February 3rd, 2006. I don't remember days a lot. That day I remember. I was in my bathroom praying to God, close the door of the bathroom, and crying out to God to please help me quit smoking weed, okay? February 4th, 2006, I wake up. I used to have a craving to smoke weed every day back in those days too, when I was a young kid. February 4th, the next day, I cried out to God in the bathroom, praying to God by myself, close all the windows and the doors because I didn't want people to hear me. And I cried out to God for like 20 minutes, praying to God, basically. Asking Him to free me, And at the time, my life was at the bottom of the bottom. I was working at the convenience store. I wasn't even doing internet marketing. I mean, I did dabble with it, but I basically quit internet marketing after I dabbled with it for 4 years, working at the convenience store. And I was at the rock bottom. I was working at the convenience store, living with my parents at the time, hating my life, hating my job, hating my everything. Smoking weed, and it got to the point I didn't even have control over it. I was smoking weed not because I wanted to, because I felt like I had to, because it was an addiction for me. And February 3rd, I prayed, and I prayed a lot before too, but nothing really happened. But for whatever reason, that day, I prayed. The next day, February 4th, I wake up. Okay? Hold on 1 second. Let me continue later. Hold on a second. The next day, right? I wake up. February 4, 2006. I wake up. The cravings is gone. It's gone. I was just like, I was so suspicious because like, this doesn't seem real. What is this? Like, how come I don't want to smoke weed? My parents were out of the house at the time, so it was a weekend. I had the opportunity to smoke, but I didn't feel like it. So I almost didn't believe it. Like, what's going on? This is weird. This is too weird. What's going on? And like, I remember, like, I still wasn't convinced day one. The next day, right? I wake up and I still don't have the craving, right? And I was like, what's going on? Third day, I still don't have that normal craving. So finally, after about a week of this, I finally like realized, oh my goodness, it was like I experienced, like, God answered my prayer, and he took it away, like. And I was so fortunate, because a lot of times, sometimes you pray, it may not happen like that. So that's the first time I quit. From then on, I quit for 8 years. Not once I smoked weed after that. 2006 to all the way to 2014. I'm going to be real. And then I went on this journey towards internet marketing, and I went on it with full force, because that was just all out, That's... I was not high. I was just going all out, gung-ho mode, right? And felt great. But down the line, sometimes in life, when you go up on top and think everything's all right, and you become somewhat, you can get prideful, arrogant, especially when you're younger. I was still young at the time, and it made me think I was invincible maybe at the time. I was still young. I didn't really fail for a while. So after 8 years, I thought, and then I went to like a party or whatnot. I don't get into detail, but and there was somebody smoking, and they offered, and I was like, all right, I'll try it out. And unfortunately, I did that, in that time. And it's not like after that I immediately went back into doing this over and over again. It took some time, I didn't do it seriously until like about maybe 2016. I picked it back up, and from then on I kind of like did it again and again, right? And then like I had a realization, I need to quit this again. So somewhere, I don't know exactly when, but 2019-ish, I don't know the exact date, I somehow quit again. From 2016 to 19, I was doing it again, unfortunately. And 19, it got to the point, rock bottom. Like, my business was going down. Nothing was really going well. And I just realized this is something I need to stop. And I quit. Somehow, in some way. Okay. And then I quit for like about a year or two, close. And then I'm going to be real, I picked it back up. And I know people might judge me and whatnot. And it's all good, because, if you don't understand, it's cool. But the ones who suffer this, suffer through something like this, they understand it's, some, like, you can be susceptible to this again, So from like 2000, I don't know the exact date, but 1 to 2004, 24 now, I was doing this, Again, I'm in California, so technically it's all allowed or whatever. And no disrespect to anybody who does this or whatever. It's just and say this is not a problem for me. I understand. A lot of people, it's not a problem, But for me, it was. Okay, everyone's different. And basically, so yeah, and then it became extremely challenging, like this third time, and I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit, and I wanted to get rid of it, but it got to the point, it felt like it was almost impossible. I felt like God already answered my prayer back then, and I was disrespectful to God for like getting back into it, and all that stuff, and there was no more miracles anymore. I felt like, and it was hard for me for some odd reason, even though I didn't even get high no more. And you know, if you guys do this, like after a while, you're not even high. It's a habit. You know, it's just a habit. And for me, but just 3 weeks ago, for some odd reason, you know, for me, it's a combination of a lot of things. For me, it was kind of like, you know, having food in storage. Like when you don't have food in your refrigerator, you feel like, oh, you got to go to the supermarket and get some food just to feel secure. Maybe it's that DNA and the evolutionary part of my brain or something like that, feeling like that, you know? So whenever I run out of weed, I'm just being honest, for the people who struggle with this, like the way I did it, quit this time, you know? The first time was God. Like everything's to God, I know for sure. But practically speaking, what I did was like, the normal routine I would go through is like, if I didn't have any, you know, weed, just like if I didn't have any food, I would feel the need to like, oh, I need to get more, just in case. Even if I didn't want to smoke at the time, like I just feel secure. I felt secure by just having weed, you know, when I was running out of it. And for whatever reason, I got sick and tired like 3 weeks ago, you know, to the point of like, first of all, it's bad for my health, okay? Yeah, okay. So, I'm getting older too, you know? So it's just like, I felt the need to just, like, it's not good for me, you know? And I for whatever reason, I just try to, like, willfully say, you know what? I don't want to get, when I ran out of it, I was like, I don't want to buy more. Like, you know, I don't want to. And, you know, this is how I quit cigarettes too, a long time ago. Like 10 plus years ago, I used to smoke cigarettes in college. How did I quit? At the time, it was simple as just like, I don't want to spend any more money on cigarettes. You know, I just don't want to buy, even though it's $5 a pack at the time. Like, I don't want to spend $5. I remember. Whatever it takes, just like, I'm just trying to give what worked for me, you know? It may work for you. I'm not saying you can or whatnot. Do whatever it takes. Whether it's prayer or just thinking like being whatever you want to call me, cheap. Oh, I don't want to spend $5 or I don't want to spend more. Just whatever it takes. And I had that same thinking. You know, it worked last time with cigarettes, so let me try it this time. Oh, I don't want to spend more on weed. I already spent so much on weed all the time, you know? And I didn't, and this time, this is the thing. Just day one of quitting weed was the hardest obstacle for whatever reason. For me, it's psychological, because I always felt like if I run out of weed, just like running out of food, I need weed. So I was just trying to test and challenge myself. Let me see if I could survive without one day of not having weed. Not just not smoking weed, just not having weed. Okay, I don't even buy a lot. I just like small packs all the time, you know. Let me just try. And one day I actually survived, you know. Just one day I survived. So I was shocked and surprised, you know. Just one day I passed that test, you know. And after I passed day one, day two became drastically easier. Like day one, I thought it was impossible psychologically, okay? But once I passed it, like I was like, okay, I passed day one. I already passed it. It's like beating a giant. I beat David. I beat Goliath one time. If I beat him one time, I can beat him twice. You know, it's kind of like that. Oh my goodness, I didn't believe I could do day one. And once I beat day one, you know, I was like, oh, maybe I could do day two like this. And that's where, and day two, I did it. Because I was able to just get over day one, you know? And then, day two got easier, you know? And day three eventually got easier, and eventually I was like, oh my goodness, after about a week, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm sober for a week. So it just, and eventually it got a lot easier. Now it's normal, and now it's 3 weeks, and I'm doing my best to keep at it. The cravings are not there anymore. I never really had cravings, except it was more of a psychological reason. Like, I needed weed, just in case. That's how I did it this time, and ever since then, here's another continuation of that. More importantly, like, ever since I quit weed, I'm no longer, spending time, on money, time, and energy going to get weed. I'm free to do what I need to do, which is my dreams and my business. And ever since then, a lot of things have changed. One of the things for me is like I thought like I was normal, high, but sometimes I would get paranoid, just thinking wise, or overthink things. For example, doing YouTube videos, simple things like that. A lot of times, when I was doing that, when I was doing YouTube, I would be like, ugh. I would have so many negative thinking without me really thinking that was negative. Just thinking like, I don't want to upload that video. That don't look good. I don't really have that thinking as much anymore, sober now. So that's one huge difference for me personally. No longer overthinking things. And this is important in your journey as an online entrepreneur, whatever you do. Especially for us online entrepreneurs who work alone. We can't have negative thoughts seep into our mind. It's like a poison in a clear water bottle. It will infect everything. Right? So it really freed me from thinking like negative thoughts, like doubting myself. Now, sober, the mentality I have is I'm taking action. And I'm the style, I know I'm not perfect. Okay, my videos are not perfect or whatever. That's my style. I'm more imperfect action, okay, over perfect inaction. And ever since then, you might have seen in my channel, even if you don't follow me, if you don't see, 3 weeks ago, that's when I started doing YouTube videos, YouTube shorts. I went to a seminar afterwards. I saw Magic Johnson and all the top speakers out there. I got re-motivated to, take action on my journey. And I've been doing videos, and I'm not as like paranoid, and I'm not as doubtful of myself and worried, concerned about what other people think of me in my videos. And that has gone. That's still there, of course, as human beings, but that has been drastically just banished out of my being, ever since I let that go. And I'm just really happy about that. I'm shocked about that because, when I did YouTube back in the days, for many opportunities I was at, like, I was all out. And sometimes as I got older, I'll be like, how did I do that? And I have people who watch my videos, they'll be like, man, you had power back then. But it's not there anymore for some odd reason, you know what I mean? I felt like it, and maybe it's just I'm getting older or whatever, but the overthinking, it was gone, and I'm not at the same place I was there maybe a long time ago in terms of doing YouTube videos, like my confidence per se, because I've been through the ups and downs. I feel like I've been more mature though, because I've been through the ups and I've been through the downs, and I've been through back up, down, and up again and down, so you get humbled naturally, right? And I feel like, but the overthinking, which is the enemy, our biggest enemy is ourselves usually, because we overthink whatever we do, whether it's YouTube or taking that first step and publishing a book or building your own venture or doing whatever you really want to do and you know you can do. For me, it was just like, it was limiting me, you know. And ever since I quit weed again, I've let go a lot of bad things, you know, that I thought, you know, that I couldn't, you know. The overthinking is gone. I'm doing YouTube again. Whether I get a lot of views or I don't, it's okay. Some people make fun of me back in the days, like, oh, you only get like 10 views. It's okay. Maybe I lack self-awareness with YouTube, okay? Maybe I don't make pivots as much as I need to. I understand. But you know what? I'm going to live my life to the fullest with the abilities that I've got. It might not be a viral sensation. It's all good. As long as I'm happy doing it, that's what matters more. It's the process, the journey, it's the craft, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And I don't know what the future entails for me in the future, you know? But one thing I know, I'm happier. I'm happier. Does that mean success has come to me? Has my business grown like crazy? No. It's challenging, to be honest. You know, every year there's more competitors, more and more this and that. But I'm doing my best as I can now, as opposed to back then I was kind of doing it halfway, you know. I'm doing the best of my abilities, which is what it's all about, right? So just wanted to share with you for documenting my journey, and also especially for those of you who probably struggle with this, you know, especially this, you probably, or those of you who struggle with anything, but especially if those of you struggle with this and you probably think it's impossible. Trust me, I know. I used to think it was impossible just 3 weeks ago, you know, and it's not. I'm in a complete different life again, you know. And some people may think, hey, you failed and you're gonna go back, you know. Hey, I don't know the future. All I know is I failed a lot, okay? And through failure, I'm learning, okay? And I'm doing my best to do my best. And I just want to let people know who failed, who think this is impossible to quit or whatever. It's actually possible. And maybe my examples how I quit, you know, just day one, that's the hardest. Whatever trigger, try to bypass day one. Once you bypass day one, man, it's easier. Just like Alcoholics Anonymous, they say, you know, one day at a time, right? So I just want to share this journey, man. I want to do this video because I think this is an important message for everybody, you know. I feel like I need to do this, you know. You know, when you accomplish a certain milestone, it's important to share that, you know, for other people out there. It's not just about me. I feel great, but it's also all about other people who probably go through this behind the scenes or whatever. I'm not here to judge nobody, okay? Because I've been there. I know, I understand. People usually who've suffered are the ones who actually judge the least. So I appreciate those people. I don't judge them. It's usually the people who've never done something like this or whatnot. They're usually the harshest ones who judge. So that's why sometimes I have to back away from people, sometimes from sharing this story. But I'm doing this story because I feel great. And don't judge me, okay? Judge not, the Bible says, for ye shall be judged. So I'm not here to judge. Don't judge me. It's about freedom. Let's focus on the positive, okay? And some people are cool with doing this, and it's cool. I'm not judging you, okay? But for me, it has been a challenge. So anyways, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. Take care. Keep on keeping on. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.